Hey guys, it's Investment Guru here. Today we are diving into one of my top 5 DeFi projects coming in the next few weeks. Project Europa is an extremely innovative gamified DeFi project who strive to be leaders in the space. We'll be deep diving into the white paper and why I'm extremely excited for the launch. Remember, this space is extremely risky, but the team, in my opinion, is making all the right steps. So it's very important to do your own research before investing, but I'm going to lay the case why I'm going to definitely be pulling the trigger. So first, why Project Europa? Project Europa intends to provide the safest possible service to their users by having their smart contract fully audited before launch, as well as having a docs and KYC team. Not only that they will also go through 2 rounds of beta testing with users before launching to the public. So this means they're going to test out the smart contract before it comes to the public to make sure that their tokenomics and everything that they've planned is all in place and working well, which is a very good sign. In addition to earning money, they believe that users should be entertained and their time and attention rewarded. Therefore, they aim to build a gamified DeFi experience that is not only lucrative but fun. So the idea here is to make that's the gamified DeFi part. So to be able to actually interact with the protocol and your time is rewarded, I think that's awesome. And not everyone has the time on their hands to, make money. But if you don't want to make money, it's maybe not, and put some time and effort in. It's probably not the project for you. But I believe this will keep it sustainable because it will keep interest in the project. And I'll go into it further into the video, but they plan to have games on public launch, so it's not a project that is promising games and under delivering. They're gonna at launch they're gonna have a series of games, if not 1, maybe 2, that you'll instantly be able to play and start being rewarded for doing so. Already, many node projects have run into sustainability issues, primarily due to unrealistic APYs and a lack of diversity in revenue streams. We believe our investors deserve to have a more robust investment system, as well as sustainability over the long term through the introduction of multiple revenue streams from the get-go, and many more to come over the lifespan of the project. So we've got an ecosystem overview. It's a little bit dry for the next few slides, but you guys need to have a good understanding of what Project Europa is really about, and then we can go through some diagrams and stuff like that. So Project Europa is, in its current form, will be adopting some parts of current DAS model, so DeFi as a service. So you buy the token, build a collector, and have lifetime returns from it. This is where the story starts to change. So let's say if you don't have much time, you still can be rewarded by joining this protocol. You don't necessarily have to do the gamified side of it, but that's really where the potential comes from this project, is to be able to put more time into the project to compound your rewards earlier and make a bigger returns in the end. Firstly, instead of having people build collectors, amass tokens and then dump them, creating massive sell pressure in the process, we are built in a dynamic cooldown mechanic to collector creation. So cooldown alleviates sell pressure by making sure no one user can hoard a massive number of collectors and by extension tokens at the one time. Furthermore, the auto compounding feature will reward users for long-term auto compounding by significantly reducing cooldown, providing incentive to keep the tokens within the system. So the extra info that we've got, which is worth mentioning, ticker will be Orbit, so that's what the token will be called. Total supply will be 2 million, whitelist price $2.50, and the launch price is $1. So next we got additional overview. So secondly, we are introducing 3 tiers of collectors. Stardust collectors, which have been the lowest tier, will be made cheaper to create in order to make the protocol accessible for lower incomes. Direct creation of asteroid and planet collectors is possible. It will, however, be significantly more expensive to buy outright than to merge. So it encourages node creation. So node creation and merging are both subject to cooldown, which encourages merging, but it's also has a cooldown, so you won't be able to do it all on the same day, which will help alleviate sell pressure, as we mentioned before. To embark on your journey with us, you must procure Project Europa NFT, which will grant you access to the protocol, akin to having a passport before being granted entry. So it's like a NFT passport. So to be able to interact with the protocol, you must have this NFT, which helps allow for, as it says, population control. The NFT system will have in place will serve three purposes: population control, gamification, letting the user decide which boosts are more desirable, and additional revenue stream for the protocol. So the NFTs will actually give you boosts as well to speeds and less cooldowns and etc. I don't believe they're directly related to rewards though. Ecosystem overview, 3 out of 3. In the same vein of gamification, each user will have a level based on their activities in the protocol. Collector creation, merging, purchase, and usage of NFTs will all count towards a user's level. The protocol will further reward experienced users by granting various perks and bonuses at different level milestones. So this is why it's important to be early, because you don't quite know what the reward will be, but we can assume that once we get there, it's going to be highly sought after. Finally, what does the future hold for Europa? What we have detailed above is only phase 1 in our grand plan. Once we have attained a steady supply of users, we eventually aim to move into the metaverse and gaming spaces, where each citizen of Project Europa will be able to live, play, and earn. Our vision is to create a protocol that lies at the crossroads between DeFi, gaming, and the metaverse. And that really grabbed my attention because I'm a big investor in Gala Games as well. I love what they're doing, and I can see, Gala Games is not investment, blah blah blah. So, to be able to have the other side of it, where it's somewhat of an investment, it gives you the best of both worlds, all three worlds in this example: gaming and metaverse and DeFi. So that's just going to bring more attention to the project. So here's a visual roadmap. So I said it's going to get a little bit less dry, but there's a lot of information to there. December, they had pre-launched NFTs. So there were, I think it was like 50, so it's not many, and they've already been launched, so we missed out on that. Alpha launch for pre-launch NFT holders, so this means, I'm assuming it's now, that they're testing out the protocol already from the NFT holders that got in early. This is similar to what we're saying, they're testing it out before public launch. So the code was sent for audit. I can't remember, I believe there's an update on that, but don't take my word for it. March 2022, same thing, whitelisted users to exercise allocation. So you can see there's mostly in March, there's a big month this month. Public lottery to buy tokens, so I believe you still can get into this. If you go in their Discord, there'll be more information regards this and how you can get involved. I'm personally, I'm going to try my luck, but I'm not going to bank on winning the lottery, for example, so I will have funds for public launch. March 2022, beta launch for whitelist plus lottery. So that's the second launch they're doing to test the protocol for the second time. Audit complete this month, and then going into next month, we've got the full public launch, and on the same month, mini game launch, which I think is a game changer. To be able to have a game as soon as the public launch happens will bring immense buy pressure at the start, and should continue on through, because that demand will stay there because of the game, and it's not just making returns. I guess the token's got utility. So we've got user interaction. So this is the user's journey. So step 1, mint and purchase a Project Europa identified NFT. So that's like your VIP pass. That's the step 1. Step 2, enter the protocol with your orbit, so that's the protocol native token, and build a Stardust collector. So that's basically the node in traditional sense. Step 3, build more Stardust collectors to form your martyr. Don't quite know what a martyr is. I'm assuming this just means that to grow your to grow out your collectors. Step 4, keep auto compounding to begin merging your way to a mighty planet collector. So we'll go into the collectors in a sec, but that's the final one. And step 5, take part in more exciting activities on Project Europa. So that's the games and more things to come. So the user experience, so this is obviously some UI leak here, which it looks pretty awesome, like very cartoony, gamey like, but it looks well put together from what I can see. Create collectors that yield daily return. Collectors creation is time gated behind cooldown. Gain levels by interacting with the protocol. Merge collectors into bigger ones and improve your rewards. So all this stuff is, innovative, and that's why, these guys have had this plan for since last year. So early December, as you saw, the NFTs were launched then, and they haven't rushed it. So that's what gives me another leg of confidence. They were here around when Ring was around, and Ring's crashed and burned, while these guys are building a very solid project and really narrowing out the nitty gritty to make sure they bring out something that's not like the rest. Population control, so this is what we sort of touched on. The number of users allowed to join the platform will be controlled by the NFT registration system. So that's the NFT that you get, VIP NFT. That's what I call it, VIP NFT. Prospective users will first need to purchase a Project Europa Identifier NFT before registering an avatar and joining the protocol. By controlling the inflow of new users, Europa's protocol will be able to keep the treasury stable and users' rewards consistent. Most of the NFT minting fees will be redistributed directly into the treasury. A small portion of the fees will be allocated to the platform and the artist. Now I've got user, levels, and rewards. When interacting with the protocol, Project Europa users will gain experience and levels. Interacting with the protocol can mean creating and merging collectors, minting NFTs, playing mini games. As a user's level increases, the user is afforded more boosts on the ecosystem. User level also plays a big role in deciding the direction of the treasury's investments, drawing inspiration from many decentralized autonomous organizations, projects out there. Variable cooldown dynamics. So variable cooldowns and rewards will be affected by variables such as the price of orbit token, number of active users, and runway time as determined by the team. In this way, supply of the token is kept stable while the demand for the token is kept high by the various reward mechanics built into the Project Europa's ecosystem. So now we've got Stardust collectors, which are traditionally known as a node. Higher tiered collectors yield better rewards. Rewards from the collector can be auto-compounded to create additional Stardust collectors. These will be at a quicker rate the longer the auto-compounding feature is left on. Project Europa will offer users the capability to merge collectors. Indeed, this is the main way through which they envision most users will upgrade their collectors. So here's a little diagram of each tier. We've got the Stardust collector, asteroid collector, and planet collector. So merging cost is none. I'll explain that in a sec, but buy costs 10 orbit, and that's your daily reward. So the rewards are quite lower than the rest of the projects out there, but once again, once you interact with the protocol, this will help boost your rewards, as well as this increases sustainability by a lot, because there's some projects that it will cost 20 but they'll pay out 1. So that's, if that was the same conversion, that would be paying out 0.5. So it's significantly less, but it will help maintain this project, which will be awesome. Tier 2, so we've got merging costs. So we've got this 10xt1. So I didn't really understand when I first was looking at this, but I understand now. So 10 tier 1s can equal 1 tier 2. So if you see 1 tier 1 costs 10, so you'll need 100 orbit to make 10 tier 1s, which can be converted into a tier 2. So instead of paying 190 up front, you can use 10 tier 1s, which would only cost you 100 orbit instead. And the same thing here. For tier 3, you need 50 tier 2s. So it works out cheaper as well. You can do the maths, or you can buy it for 6,900. And I think the rewards, I was listening to AMA, it's about 100 days roughly, and I think tier 1's about 160 days. But that's assuming orbit price doesn't do anything. But with utility, it's pretty much a sure thing that the daily rewards are down, very low, and if there's high utility, people will be buying the token not only to make new collectors, but also to be using the token. Next, we've got collectors cost and tokenomics. So yeah, basically what we just went through, the 10 orbit, this is a little diagram. Yeah, there's not really much more I had to add to that, but here's a breakdown of the tokenomics. So your first tier, you've got 85% goes to treasury, 5% goes to liquidity, 2% team wallet, and 8% future development, game design, protocols, updates, vault, etc. So we'll in the next few slides we'll understand what the treasury is made up of, which is made up of a few things, but it gives you an idea. So now we've got the overall tokenomics. So we've got a few more things to address here. So the treasury breakdown, this is what I was saying before. The treasury, so the 85% that was mentioned, would be broken down further into 60%, 30%, and 10%. So 60% goes to reward pool, which is quite high, which is a good percentage, considering the reward rate that's paid out, or the emission rate, is very low, so that will keep sustainability and runway a lot higher. 30% proven yielding investments, so I'm not 100% what investments, but yeah, it speaks for itself. And 10% futures trading team. This is innovative in itself. They're going to use a team that trades futures, so that's leverage trading, to make a higher return on smaller amounts of capital. We've also got direct token tax, so 15% tax will be applied from all rewards accumulated from collectors, only when they were withdrawn from the ecosystem. So 5% team wallet and 10% future development, game design, protocol, updates, and vaults. Next, we've got treasury ROI tax. So 10% tax will be applied to all treasury earnings in their native tokens, e.g. 10% of the strong nodes profits will be taxed in strong. 2% goes to the team, 8% future development, etc. Whitelist funds, so this is the funds they got from the whitelist. 500k into liquidity, so that's going to help public launch have enough liquidity so you can get in without the price skyrocketing instantly. 200k future development, game design, protocol updates, and 350k into initial investments to start bringing in capital. Orbit breakdown in Orbit, so 2 million total tokens, 400k released in private sales, so it's 400k Orbit tokens, 500k to make up liquidity pair, 150k future development, and 900k reward pool, as well as the 50k team wallet. So it also mentions here team token is vesting, so linearly vested over a year with a 25% initial release, and that can only be used by the team to interact on the protocol. So I don't believe they're actually allowed to sell the tokens, they're only allowed to use those tokens to make collectors. Cooldown payment tokenomics, so payment terms for cooldown reduction. If a user wishes to reduce or remove their cooldown period, the cost for doing so is as follows. So as we said, you've got a cooldown period, but if you want to remove that, this is what you can do. So 10 orbit per hour of cooldown reduction. So it's going to cost you 10 orbit to reduce each hour. And there's going to be a 10% reduction applied after 10 hours. So after 10 hours, it will only cost you 9 orbit instead of 10, which is not much of a difference. Cooldown between collectors creation, so that's 12 hours, so it will cost you 120 orbits. So that's a lot. You wouldn't be doing it unless you're a whale basically. Smaller wallets, it's no point sacrificing the orbit when you could just wait the 12 hours or whatever, 32 hours or whatever it is, in order to move forward rather than pay for the time. But it's an interesting concept, and I think it will be used, and it's going to be a good revenue source. So 85% of that will go to treasury. We said what the treasury's made up of before, and the 5 to team wallet, 10% future development. So here we got the NFT tokenomics. So these are NFTs that some of them have already sold. I believe there's going to be more in the future. So 80% of treasury, 5% liquidity, 5% team, 5% future development, and also 5% to the artist, 75% treasury, etc., etc. So this is very innovative, and I think with all the sales that have already happened, that means there's already treasury, there's already rewards in the reward pool, there's already money's already flowing in, and it's not even launched yet. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to ask any questions or suggestions down below, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks.